Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Career Insights 501. I am your host, Carlos, and I am going to be talking to you all today about a article that has been making its way around the internet, talk shows, the news. It's like all over different types of media. So there is an article by intelligent.com. The title of the article is Nearly 4 in 10 Employers Avoid Hiring Recent College Grads in Favor of Older Workers. So that is, in my opinion, and this article was published back in December 2023. So December 12, 2023. That was actually about 6 months ago from today, 6 months, 10 days from today's date. But the thing that has been making its way around news is this graph that we see right here, this chart that we see right here. It says during job interviews, employers say recent college graduates have, and then they go on to list the things that recent college graduates have. And so the first one is struggle with eye contact. The second one was asking for unreasonable compensation. The third one was they dress inappropriately in interviews or I guess at work, use inappropriate language, refuse to turn on cameras during virtual interviews, and they brought a parent to the interview. Now, I am going to talk to you all about all these things and how you can go in and not go in, but how you can fix these things or what you can do to make sure that you're not doing some of these things or all of these things in your interview. I would recommend that you all go in here and take a look at this article. This graphic right here, I think is really important. 2 in 3 employers say recent college grads can't manage their workload, and so then they go down here to list some of the things that grads have trouble managing at work. So can't manage the workload, are late to start work, hand assignments in late, don't dress professionally, deliver poor work quality, are late to meetings, inappropriate language, some of the same things that we mentioned from above. But these are other things that you want to make sure that you are good at or great at, good at the very least. But these are the things that you want to make sure as well that you aren't doing once you get the job. Going back up here to the first thing though, this chart, going back to the chart, struggle to make eye contact. I do want to talk to you about some techniques or some things that you can do to practice to improve making eye contact during a job interview. And I'll just be honest with you all. I'm reading off on my computer screen because with Career Insights 501, I just talk about careers in general. So it's not a specialty. So it's a lot of stuff. I don't know, like it's not programmed in my head. The whole purpose of Career Insights for you all who are new to the channel or just new to me and what my goal is with this whole platform, it is to provide you with the information and resources to be well, first and foremost, to give you a realistic expectation of what different careers are about, and then how to get into a career that best align with your skills, interests, and all of that things. Your life goal, your personal goals, professional goals, all that. And then making sure that you're just pretty much overall happy with life. So I go into some more personal things and not just career things as well. So I will be looking at this computer screen a lot and not necessarily the camera. I will be honest with you all again and just say for me personally, just I think it's a generational thing. I'm not really comfortable looking at a camera. I know a lot of the younger generations, Gen Z and Alpha, and the younger millennials are digital natives. So looking at a camera and recording themselves, it's pretty easy for them. But that is something that I struggle with looking at this freaking camera. But with that being said, let me just hop over here to some notes that I have about what you can do to improve with making eye contact during a job interview. So the first thing, practice with family members and friends. Here you want to try to do mock interviews, and then after the mock interview, you want to ask for feedback. What I would say here, and I'm going to talk about the use of AI and ChatGPT a lot in my videos because I think that it is a powerful tool and a very helpful tool when planning out your career and figuring out your career. So with that being said, go into ChatGPT and type out a prompt, something to the effect of, hey, I am, working on improving my eye contact. Could you create a mock interview for me in the field of or for the job position of, and then have ChatGPT create a mock interview for you. I mean, I would even go as far as to say what company you're working for, what field you're working in, what position you're applying for, all those different things. So I would give it as much information in the prompt so you can get more of a realistic mock interview, so you can kind of like practice on two things at once, making eye contact and giving a correct response. Because the saying is practice makes perfect, but then I worked at another company that said perfect practice makes perfect. So kind of like going with the second note on that one, just make sure that you're giving correct answers while you're practicing, so it'll be kind of like second nature when you're going to your interview and practicing or giving your responses in your job interview. Sorry about that. Use a mirror. This one is just self practice. You can use a mirror and look at yourself. That is kind of weird to me because I just feel like everybody looks in the mirror already when they're washing their face or brushing their teeth or whatever. But maybe you're not making eye contact when you're looking in the mirror when you're doing those things. So another suggestion or tip or thing that you can do is to look in the mirror and recite your responses to an interview question. So you might look down at the paper, read the question, and then look back up in the mirror and then give your answer to the question that you just read aloud or to yourself. Third thing is record yourself. And I think this one can be tied into the first two. So when you're doing your mock interview with a family member or a friend, or when you're recording or when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you should record yourself, or you can record yourself to make sure that you are making that eye contact with the person. And I think this is important too for facial expressions. Some people might have like a very dead face, they have very little emotions or no emotions on the face. Some people might have the resting bitch face where they look like they're angry or have an attitude. So you want to make sure that you're not coming off in a negative manner or uninterested manner when you're interviewing for companies. You want to look like you're excited to be there, that you're happy, that you're grateful for the opportunity. But at the same time, me personally, I don't want to come off, or I don't think you should come off overly excited, because that can be maybe annoying to some people. So record yourself, answer the questions, record the review, make sure that you're making eye contact. You can even use the camera or the lens of the camera as a face or an eye to act like that's an eye of an individual, to make sure that you're, like I said, I'm bad at looking into the camera, so I can just like act like it's an eye, or you can act like it's an eye, and look into that to make sure that you're just being focused on something. And then this is a tip too for those of you who still struggle to make eye contact. Just look somewhere in their face around their eyes. So maybe like in the center of their nose, and you're not necessarily focused on their eyes, or maybe the eyebrows, or they got bags. I don't know. You can focus on those while you're giving your responses, but make sure it's something that's not going to distract you from giving an answer. If they got a booger up their nose, you don't want to look at the booger and then be like saying booger in your responses or something like that. But if you do have trouble with making eye contact, just try to pick another area of the face to focus on. A couple of more is practice in group discussions. So if you're in a classroom and you're kind of like maybe not in a debate, but just say if you're in a science class and you're talking about a theory, evolution. Like some people think evolution is something that's proven. Some people think that it's just that a theory, and that it's not necessarily something that has been or can be proven. If you have a rebuttal to someone's answer, instead of looking at the teacher, you can turn around and look at the person that you are rebuting their answer, and just look them in the eye when you're giving your statement or your argument. Or if you want to look in the teacher's face, but I would suggest looking into somebody's face that you aren't comfortable looking in. So whether that be the teacher or the person who made the comment that you don't agree with, or you maybe agree with it and want to add something on to what they're saying. Public speaking courses, of course, is a great way to improve eye contact. Networking events is another great way. So when you're going up to networking events and you're meeting new people, You want to make sure that you're looking them in the eye when you're introducing yourselves, giving that firm handshake and all that stuff that they talk about to do when you're going to networking events. But of course, here the focus is making eye contact. And if you're at a networking event and you walk up to a group, if they're introducing you to other people, you want to make sure that you're looking those people in the face, or that's something that you can do to practice improving eye contact, looking those people in the eyes when you're being introduced, or when they're talking or saying something. Just look over and see if they're talking crazy or not. Um, Virtual interviews. So you can practice virtual interviews online with family members and friends. Again, with Teams, you might, if you don't have Teams or a web camera, or you just want to do something on the fly, you can use FaceTime, Facebook Messenger, any type of video chat or video conferencing app to practice on that, because some of you all may not have a computer and you might have to use your cell phone, or maybe you have a cell phone and you have excuse me, maybe you do have a computer or a laptop and something comes up and you have some type of technical issue with that and you have to get on your cell phone. So I would say definitely get some practice in on mobile devices and virtual interviews as well, because a lot of your initial interviews are going to be virtual interviews, and for that matter, a lot of your interview processes in their totality are going to be virtual interviews. Um, just being mindful and relaxed. So you don't want to be nervous and anxious when you go into the interview. So getting, sleep and just being, I guess, knowledgeable about your answers and really looking over interview questions in that field, so you won't get blindsided and stumped and it kind of like throws you off. Again, the body language. So I talked about that, the eye contact, your facial expressions. You want to have open body language, so you don't want to be sitting like this or slumped over or chilling like this or just laid back. You want to be sitting up straight, looking straight forward, or looking the person in their face, and that sort of thing when you're doing interviews. And that's pretty much it for the things that you can do for improving your eye contact. There are probably a lot more things that you can do to improve that, but those are some of the primary things that you can do to improve your eye contact when interviewing. So if we go back and look at this chart again, the second thing was asking for unreasonable compensation. And look, I am right there with you all. Let me tell you, I got out of college with my PhD and I knew out the bat I was going to be making six figures. Was not the case. For a lot of reasons. But that's another video. But I do want to say that just even after graduating with my bachelor's degree, I really wasn't aware of what to ask for somebody with an IT degree. So we can go here to salary.com and figure out what you should be asking for as far as salary goes for somebody, who is a recent college graduate. So salary.com is the website, and then you can go in here and type in the job title, and I'll just say network security. And location, we'll say Orlando, since this is where I moved to after I graduated, Orlando, Florida. Now the thing about salary.com and a lot of these career calculators, you don't have to use salary.com. I'm not being sponsored by anybody that I mentioned on my website or in any of my videos. Again, this is just to help you all find the right information, or direct you to the right information, tools, and resources that you need, because I know a lot of people tell you you need to do this, but they don't necessarily tell you how or where to go to find this information. So we get our results back up here. The network security manager, I don't want to click on that one because that is a senior level position, so I'll just say the network security architect. And we always get these ads on salary.com. So we see here that the median salary for somebody in Orlando is $96,620. Then we can scroll down here and it asks for our education, if we have direct reports. So basically, this is asking if you're a manager, does anybody report to you? Performance, years of experience, and whether or not you report to somebody. So a lot of these salary calculators have a lot of these different options or criterias that you can go in here and put information in, or put your specific qualifications in, and give you a better um, idea of what you should be asking for as far as your salary. So this is just taking all things into consideration. So this is just taking in all education levels, the I guess the span of years of experience that people who have entered in their information into salary.com, all this stuff. Like I said, it's taking all this stuff into consideration to get these this median and all these different averages and percentiles that you see here in this chart. Um, Another thing too, I want to just say really before we jump into this. So I did put Orlando, Florida, but based on your geographic area, your salary can be higher or lower, and also depending on the industry that you're in. So if you're into something like a tech field or a medical field, something where they can pay more money, they make a lot of money, and the security of the network is very vital to them, then yes, you're going to get a lot more money versus maybe if you're going to work for a public school, that won't be something that is going to be a top priority for. It's going to be a top priority, but you all get what I'm saying. It's not going to be something that they're going to be like, oh my God, we need to pay this person six figures, even though schools don't have that big of a budget. So we're just going to say bachelor's degree. We're going to go down here to education because I'm just going on and on. So now you're seeing that they're saying that your salary, if you live in Orlando, just based off of your education alone, you could ask for like $95,000. Let's say we did an internship a couple of times and we got 1 year of experience. So that put us back up to the 9620, the $96,620, the median average. Direct reports, we don't have any direct reports. So that kept us at the median. And then just say that we report to a manager. Still kept our salary that we should ask for, your salary, at the $96,000. Performance, and we're going to say we are superior because why not? Same thing. So it didn't change anything really. The only thing that made it drop was the education. And let me go back in here, and I'm going to reset factors really quick. So the median salary for the U.S. is $101,000. Orlando, you see, it was 96,000. So location, we're just going to say Montgomery, Alabama, and you see the median income, or the median or salary is $90,000 there. Education, again, we're going to go with a bachelor's degree. So we see that, like I said, with the location, it changes. $89,000 if you're in Alabama. So you can just go in here in salary.com, Monster. There's some more salary calculators out there. You just type in salary calculator, and it will let you go in here and manipulate these things. Again, you could probably use ChatGPT and just type out a prompt. I am applying for a job at X company. I have X amount of years of experience. I have this degree. Just take all these things and put it into the into the prompt. They give all these details in the prompt, and then ChatGPT could give you a salary that you could ask for. And with that, you can tell ChatGPT to the effect of use salary.com, use monster.com, use only reliable resources to generate the salary, and then you can also ask it to cite the sources as well, so that you can go to that website and see or manipulate that salary calculator if it's pulling that information from a salary calculator. So again, salary.com, or just do a quick search for a salary calculator to get information on a reasonable salary or hourly rate that you should be asking for when going into a job interview. Dress inappropriately. So there's a saying, it's better to be overdressed than underdressed, because you can always dress down, take off your jacket. If you have on a suit, you can always take off your jacket, take off your tie, and then just have your shirt on and be more business casual. But Purdue Global has an article here that I wanted to share with you all, and I'm going to put all these links in the YouTube description. So with all my videos that have links, it'll be posted. This video will be posted across a lot of social media, but to get to the links easily, I will just go to my YouTube channel so you can click the links. But I will have the links to, all these things: this article, the salary.com, and then this um, how to dress article. So the first thing that they're saying, that there is no right or wrong way to dress. There's no one size fits all approach to dressing. Um, while I do agree with that, I will say with business, when interviewing, it's always just best, I think, to do just the traditional, if you don't know, to do the traditional shirt and tie. I wouldn't go far as to say wear a suit unless it's like an executive position or like a law firm or something like that, a more quote unquote prestigious position, or something that's like very professional, like if it's in a medical field or a lawyer or something like that. But if it's just a job at Microsoft, I wouldn't say wear a suit, just a shirt and tie. And then again, they might not be that, formal with their dress code for interviews. But shirt and tie, ladies, a nice blouse, skirt, pants, suit, that sort of thing. Business casual polo shirt. Again, I'm not really familiar with what women wear in interviews. Blouse, some nice dress pants, nothing over the top. But then, moving on, the second thing this article mentions is dress for the work environment. So I think this is important, not only for the interview, but after you get into the job. You want to make sure that you're wearing the appropriate clothing. So if it's, a job that requires you to travel a lot, you might want to wear comfortable clothes or have different, types of clothing to change into. I'm going to see if they have specifics in here. Oh, it just says check out the company website to get an idea of how people dress at the company. This is something to be aware of, is a lot of companies use stock images, so that might not necessarily be the people in their office. They might use, some stuff from Adobe stock, I think it is, or just different places they might get these stock images from. Employees are pay attention to whether employees are formally dressed and pose in photos. The second thing they mentioned are pay attention to if employees are informally posed and dressed in the photos. And then they go on to say, look at Google Map photos. And I think this is good, but a lot of times Google Maps really just give you an idea of what the building looks like, unless people have uploaded photos, personal photos, into Google Maps. My suggestion would be go to LinkedIn, look at company pages, search for people who work for that company, and then go to their profile and look at their pictures to see what they're wearing at work. I would say even go to, if they have a social media profile, go to their social media profile to see if they're posting pictures of work events and that sort of thing. I know a lot of people are weirded out about going to people's social media profiles and the whole looking at the pictures 5 years ago. Whatever, like that's what social media is for, to spy on people, to show people what you're doing. So don't feel bad about going back and looking at somebody's first picture they ever posted on LinkedIn or whatever. Employers are using social media to find out what they need to find out about you, so you should use social media to find out what you need to find out about employers, with no types of icky feelings or anything like that, and including people who work there. Because when I worked for Disney, they heard my name was Carlos, people were going online, they thought I was Cuban and all this stuff, and then lo and behold, a black guy from Mississippi pops up in the corporate office in Orlando. But it's kind of like I got that a lot, so I was used to it. Dress for the role, and there's some tips here they have. Choose practical fabrics. Don't use shimmery material. You don't want to wear shimmery shirts and that sort of things, or very distracting things. You don't want to wear stuff with a lot of prints. Maybe you don't want to wear like highlighter or neon colors and stuff like that in job interviews. Dress for the weather. So if you're going to a job interview, and I would definitely say check the weather, especially if you're going to a place like Miami, Orlando, when you get those random showers, or even in Seattle or somewhere like that. But just check the weather to make sure that you need to see if you need to wear a rain jacket. I guess this is more important during the change of season from spring to summer and fall to winter, or from summer to fall. You don't want to go into a interview soaking wet, so at least if you have a jacket on, you can take it off and you still look presentable. Or you can take an umbrella like you see the people here in the photo. And then it says wear colors that reflect the workplace. So Microsoft, I'm gonna keep saying Microsoft, but Microsoft and Google, they kind of pretty much have the same color palette. The primary colors and green. So you would want to maybe wear something like that. I don't think that that's a good example. But so work. Let me just read what this thing says. It says the color you wear for interviews can spark certain impressions. For jobs in more formal industries such as law and banking, clothes in gray, black, and shades of blue are good. These colors are good standbys for nearly any interview. Say the more colorful shades such as purple, green, and yellow for interviewing for creative roles. Um, and so a creative role might be something at Disney or Universal or some type of production company. Or if you're working at a museum, if you're interviewing at a museum, something like that, or some examples for those more creative roles. Know the types of business styles. So there's business professional and then business casual. They go in a little detail talking about what these are. So basically, business professional is a suit. That could be for a man or a woman, and if it's a man, it's typically a suit with a tie and a nice pair of dress shoes. With ladies, a nice pair of dress shoes or heels. Um, Either a pantsuit or a skirt suit is what I see most women wear when they're dressed in business professional attire. Business casual, so we got khakis, chinos, more relaxed slacks. In a lot of cases, a lot of companies now will even let you wear. Um, I say a lot of people say nice jeans, but I think they're just jeans that don't really look like fashion jeans. So they're not ripped. They're not the stone. I don't say stonewash, but the faded out in the front or the back. You know what I'm talking about, or the biker jeans and that sort of thing. It's pretty much kind of like a solid color jean that could, in a picture, maybe get away with looking like a pair of khakis or chino. There's like a ton of jeans out there now that you could get away with wearing to work for business casual. Then a polo blouse, button down shirt paired with a sports jacket or sweater are also good business casual looks. And then just casual shoes, they say closed toe shoes. And so don't wear sneaker and shoes. A lot of tech places, this is okay. So again, it just depends on the industry that you're working in. But you might not want to wear this in the initial interview, especially if you're going face to face. Once you get in the office and you see what people wear, then you can just fall in. Um, what to wear during a virtual interview. Basically, what they're saying here is wear what you would wear in an in-person interview. So all the stuff that we already mentioned, I'm not going to go over that in great detail. You can go back and look over that. And then these are just some do not wears to a job interview. Don't wear revealing clothing, low-cut shirts or tops, short skirts, anything that shows a lot of skin. Don't wear attention-grabbing clothing, so loud, distracting prints. Um, Shirts that have some type of messaging or text that says something, even if it's kind of like subliminal. I wouldn't wear it. Brightly colored clothes, brightly colored jackets. Don't wear the Easter suits. I know that we think we be clean with them suits on, but you don't want to wear the Easter suits to a job interview. Neon colors. They said don't wear neon colors except for the exception of an accent color. So if it's just like a little something on the logo or whatever that's on your chest, or something around the collar, the edge of the collar, something like that. Sunglasses unless medically necessary, and loud and distracting jewelry. And then also it just goes on to say don't wear uncomfortable clothing. Um, and then you all can just read. That's pretty much it. It's saying what to wear for other types of job, and it's not a whole lot there, but you can read that on your own. We're gonna hop back over here to this article, and the next thing that they had listed on this is use inappropriate language. And I think this one is just really short. Don't go into an interview and talk to a potential employer like you're talking to your family members and friends, unless you are somebody who just talks really professional all the time. Don't talk like you text. If you just, you I guess what I'm basically saying is the code switching, or just being a different version of yourself. I think that people are multifaceted, so I don't think that everybody is the same all the time. So I will say tap into your more professional side when you are speaking in job interviews, when you're sending email correspondences, and even when you're texting. Some people and recruiters like to text now about jobs. Um, you don't want to get in the habit. I know it could be easy to forget that you are texting a recruiter if they are, doing a text message, because we just typically like send these things out, not putting periods and question marks and stuff like that. But you want to pay extra careful attention to the punctuation, using full words instead of these abbreviations and all that stuff when you are working with recruiters, with hiring managers, and people that you're interviewing with. So just basically be professional when you are um, communicating with somebody in a professional capacity. Again, if you are having trouble with this and you are somebody who doesn't have someone who can help you with this, you can use ChatGPT. Hey, this is how I will respond to this question. How can I make it sound more professionally? And I will say that it can give you some, they take what ChatGPT gives you, but make it personal. So I don't go in and remember exactly what ChatGPT or something that you found online, some article that you found online, told you to say. Make sure that it's professional in the manner that they're telling you to say it, but make sure it sounds like it's coming from you and not just some AI generated response or some robot or just some standard response that somebody has come up with for everybody to use. Because a lot of employers have interviewed a lot, or they've interviewed a lot of people in some cases, so they're used to telling when somebody is being authentic and when they're just giving a generic response. The fifth thing that they said was refuse to turn on the camera during a virtual interview. You all, this one is just pretty simple. Turn on the camera. I know we live in a world now where, I'll say it like this. This is my thing. I feel like people are becoming more like robots, and robots are becoming more like people. Um, but you want to make sure that you're turning on this camera so people or employers or the crew that's interviewing you can see who you are, because people can tell a lot about your body language. They can tell if you're interested. They can see if you're looking at notes, if you're like whatever. So especially if you have to take some type of test or assessment or something like that, you want to make sure that you have your camera on so they can see that you are a honest person. If you're having technical problems, you can start the interview out with saying, hey, I'm having technical issues right now. Is it possible that we reschedule this, because I want to make sure that you can see me, so we won't have any type of communication barriers during this interview. They might say, hey, it's cool, we don't need to have the camera on, we understand, or let's reschedule, or tough luck, this was your only opportunity. Who knows what they're going to say, but more than likely they'll be accommodating to that if you're having some type of technical issues, and work with you, like I said, whether it be like you don't have to turn your camera on or just rescheduling. But just turn your camera on for the interview processes. If we didn't have technology, you would have to go and sit in front of somebody and they would have to see you. So just keep that in mind. Maybe once you get the job, you don't have to turn your camera on, but they do want to see who they are talking to when they're initially hiring somebody, Um, yeah. And then the last one is brought parents to the interview. Now, this is the big thing that everybody has been talking about in these interviews, and on The View, on I think Fox News is where I first, well, I don't watch the news. I didn't, so like this straight. I saw a picture that somebody posted on Facebook where somebody had took a picture from Fox News where they had posted this chart, this graph. And the main thing that everybody is talking about from this study is that interviewees brought their parents to the interview. Now, personally, I'm going to say this. I don't think there's anything wrong with a job applicant or an interviewee bringing their parent to a job interview, especially in today's times, because your parents might just have to drive you there. With the way that the economy is now, it might not be two cars. You might not have money to get an Uber. I get it. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and say, well, there's a will, there's a way. Sometimes your way might just have to be your parent bringing you to the job interview. And who knows? Maybe you have a great car. Maybe it has the best AC in the world. Maybe y'all just getting by in that car. Y'all had to ride with the windows down. You had to stand out there and pat yourself dry before. You had to get there 15 minutes early so you can go in the bathroom and get yourself together, pat yourself dry. I understand everybody got their own unique struggle or their own unique situation. So if your parent has to come in, and I don't see a problem if they had to drive you up there and sit in the lobby, whatever the situation might be. If you're doing the best in the world or you're on your last dime, or you're down on your luck, I don't see a problem with that. Now, I do see a problem with bringing your parent into the actual interview, and quite frankly, I don't think that is the interviewee's problem. I think that's the employer's problem if they are allowing that to happen. They should simply just say, you know your parent needs to stay. I'm sorry, ma'am or sir, or whatever. You need to sit out here and wait in the lobby, sit up here with the receptionist until the interview is over. Now, this is what I'll tell you all why I think that bringing them into the actual interview is a problem for employers, because some people are actually bringing them into the actual interview with them. I think it shows dependency. So when they're looking at, if we hire this person, are they going to be able to do the work on their own, or are they always going to be seeking the help or a manager or a team member? So that could look like you, like I say, you aren't dependent and you're gonna be a burden to the team. I think also it shows that you aren't able to make decisions on your own. If a parent is in there and they have to reassure you or whatever they're doing in the interview, now I'm gonna say, I guess I am officially old school. So it is weird for me to hear about a parent bringing somebody to a job interview, but at the same time, I can see the argument from both sides, as I mentioned before. But if you can help it, don't bring your parents to a job interview now that we know that this is a red flag or something that employers frown upon. And if you do have to bring them, like the examples that I gave earlier, just make sure that you aren't bringing them into the interview with you. I don't know anybody who's actually brought their parent into a job interview. Um, I've never met anybody out of all the people that I meet at conferences and talking about careers and stuff that said that they've had somebody to bring a parent in an interview with them. So who knows where this is coming from or what type of industry this is happening in. But again, don't bring your parents to the interviews with you. That's it for this interview. I hope that this was helpful to you all. I'm going to be posting a lot more videos like this and having, I guess, these little interactive sessions in it. What I'll try to do for you all is type some prompts out for the different things that I talked about in the video here so that you can just type that prompt in or get an idea of what to type into ChatGPT to go into it and use it for things like salary or coming up with that mock interview. But that's it. Again, I am your boy Carlos. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. If you all would do me the great favor of liking, subscribing, and sharing this with the people that you know. I think there's a lot of great information in here that could be applied to not just recent college graduates, but just career people in general, especially with the things about how to use AI, because there are a lot of people who are in their career who still have trouble with things like making eye contact or asking for a reasonable salary, especially if you're changing jobs or going from one company or one industry to another or one field to another. Like if you're going from a graphic design person to a cybersecurity or AI prompt engineer, it could be hard to figure out what type of salary you need to ask for that, especially if it's something that's cutting edge. If it's like AI prompt engineering, like a lot of people wouldn't know what to ask for when it comes to a salary around that. You can check out my books. You can see one back here, the Ultimate Career Plan book, and then just bam, a little bit up there, you can see the struggle is real from high school to careers. It's a guidebook. Those two can be used in tandem together, and then the plan book, anybody can use that to help them plan out their educational and professional career. You can catch me on all social media platforms, all major social media platforms at Career Insights 501, and then you can visit me and all the helpful resources that I have for you all on my website, www.careerinsights501.com. And until next time, keep your dreams in sight, and let's go together in love and together in peace. Carlos out.